أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين ما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا وآتي والأنصبانات والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم ولا آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Son and the Holy Spirit, the Lord's supreme come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses against us. And lead us not into temptation.
Witnesses.
As usual.
Commissioners. Winner Sasana. Trust show the witness the GPPA file KMC 10 of 29. Now,
Right.
Dated the 18th Public Procurement Authority. It says the Municipal Council would like infrastructure. The Lord Mayor established a canifing with high-quality facilities to buy and sell their wares, especially to improve the well-being of vendors operating within the Council's markets. The Council will follow procurement plan. It is not anticipated to use any public funds. Instead, they've said that the Task Force on Market Infrastructure has gained a substantial degree of variance in technology, approach, and contractual solutions. Therefore, in order to obtain the most efficient and cost-effective bids, the Council considers it necessary to scoring methodology in the request for proposals. And they set out their plan.
Yes.
Okay. So we had this conversation yesterday about that is not, they consider to negotiations. Am I right?
Yes.
GPPA's letter dated at stage, and you asked them to provide certain documents. Can you tell?
012, which is the declaration areas.
And for the project that they wanted.
Yes.
Let me just, there's stated the markets, the specific markets that, the proposed markets, Kunda Sabiji, Abuko, Sandika, with the market vendors to ensure that they are willing to relocate their temporary structures. Kundung Bohol, Sarakunda Car Park. Project was
Latakunda.
Maps that were
Yes.
prepared. Now, it is clear that they received only one expression of interest, which will be open, and businesses would have a window of 10. Considering the scope of going through various need to purchase the bid documents and then prepare a financial and technical.
Not be enough.
So because
Of course, the request for the
recommending,
we don't give approval to 10 days. It could.
so yesterday we had gone should come to your office for approval, and then they need to go through the steps.
Correct.
And in this instance, do you
Probably a printout of the publication and the live, but that the evidence, whether what they are saying. And the 1st of November 2019.
The design for the canteen project, telephone facilities, both in order to end business days where they're able to purchase the request for proposal to be submitted to GPA. That was what they decided in their minutes. Forwarding the request for proposal and the summary report of the expression of interest on to get for the. So your office wrote back on the 18th December 2019. Can you tell us what your decision was?
Council intends to build private sector will be provided the land, the recovery of the participate in the Latrikunda Sabiji and Abuku Sandika conditions are different from Bundung graphic life. As stated by your good is that there cannot be comparable bidders with council to commission studies to clarify most of the right to facilitate for the product of these in contractual terms and conditions. The study should facilitate proper risk allocation expression of interest. So this was the decision.
The market infrastructure is to be financed through a PFI and cost recovery mechanism.
Private finance initiative.
They conduct a feasibility study.
Submitted, but it was required to be.
Do they usually submit feasibility study? Or institutions do?
Institutions sometimes do, because they are for the subsequent tell them a decision cannot be taken up.
Following markets, clearly showing the built-up area and non-built-up area. Sold. Service 16th of January 2020. Submission of additional information. The conditions of the private partner. What percentage? Additionally, please submit to the request for proposals. To all local government authorities on the need to get approval before AG. Copies attached for each. To the 30th January 2020. The following checkers and land. So this would be a work confirmed, yes. See. Now, as at that time, there was no feasibility study presented to your office.
Not presented.
There was no proof of. Now, on 7th.
Sorry.
Yes.
Doing this through international tender, and there was no. This 16th of January 2020, which they did not respond to you, and you further also attached a letter from the Ministry of Finance informing council. All of these things, there is no evidence. You may check the file and correct me if I am wrong, that they complied with what you were requesting them to do.
The conditions of the contract, general or specific conditions of the contract. In the bidding document, you have a portion where you have most of the.
We note they will do. In other words, they will tell you they are going to go ahead and negotiate go to that next step.
Correct.
Is that they should follow procedure, that is the law, and but for that one, you are going to see.
No proofs to show that advertisement is terms of reference, conditions. It seems that
Thank you. So I refer you to your 4th February 2020 relative to the above setting of open tender. However, on the evaluation criteria, example, master's degree, BSc, or the risk of tampering with the bids. Avail ourselves for further guidance on your procurement. Point out that you did not receive the feasibility study.
Yes, it's not indicated in addition to the.
On the same date. GPA Form 013, record of tender opening. This is the same as 79 million. Now, the bid security amount should be 2% of that. If you go to page 7, you will see that under table $75,521 is now a little calculation and 960. Is 179 million.
117. This is 2% of this.
No, that's the bid amount. So he's going to do
179,035,000. That is as
7.
If my calculation
far exceeds the bid. They have the evaluation criteria requirements. Schedule. They put the bidding validity. Is that right? They complied with the bid. The technical proposal. They have recommended finish. And the estimated date, month, year period is 29 to Canifing Municipal Council Contracts Committee meeting minutes of the 20th of March 2002. Councillor Binta Janet Jalo, Nima Kamara, Director of Planning, Dr. Alu, Secretary. Usman Gay, Clerk of Council. Phillips.
The minutes of the committee.
If you can't find Jalo as the GPPA rep.
Exactly, yes. No, he is not.
Okay. Business. So the bid opening for informed that only one company has said, and 91 point, so they have said that the bid validity was pegged at 90 days.
Mr. Sanyang, you got to respond to the mic. If you nod your head, that can, or you concur or you disagree, so that we know exactly what is your
technical and financial feedback based on a survey, but it may not be 100% accurate. Bidders were excused to leave the chamber. The direct details
should be certain of what you are doing. So if your technical and your financial proposal be considered as somebody who
bidder to conduct a survey and thereafter provide the committee with the actual bid amount. It should not have been.
It should not have
that.
What I am or responsive. What I am discovering is that the financial player when and make a final decision. So it must be certain. The financial proposal must have been certain for one to determine whether it is look at the lowest in terms of
finance issue, and calls for the bidder to be given the opportunity and time, give them, especially when they're the sole bidder, and then come back to.
Actually, in normal in sell and not to the other bidders.
So at this point, you will say that both the technical and the
2020 Sonko, Chairperson, Fatoumata S. Cham, Dr. Allocator. Have you seen those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And 2 was the market infrastructure expansion. And here they're saying that the CEO reminded advices brought forward by the council lawyer, 179 million financing package, 93 million. Says the Director of Planning observed that the bidder has stated in his financial proposal that a financier who offered to provide the requiring that the bidder did not have the or proof of
provided
as part of the bidding.
As part of the bidding process.
So at Director of Planning, the agreed upon. Does it look like they've evaluated 20th of March? Still have not submitted to G.
There is a time frame, I think, for
time frame is.
I cannot remember exactly how long it should.
Is it provided for in
for bidding?
Please note that.
The bid, and they put that there's funds available for the project. The idea is that they're supposed to have funds allocated for that project. Is that right? So now,
yes, it's possible.
It's
that is possible.
So what would
board and then look at the proposal?
That's for one market. So
yes,
there were 6
the
markets that were highlighted in the reports. 3 were definite, and another 3 were possible. 2 markets, traffic lights.
Correct.
Okay, so or they would redo the tender.
There are certain steps that could be taken. They can look at the whole, and then they can even decide.
Anticipate because to relaunch, so that
Advise that you must.
Probably there wouldn't have been that need to talk about it.
That you are, because if your observer was there, he would have
present at this meeting. Like I'm assisting the witness, but I just don't want any errors on the record. That's why.
Participate during the bid opening, and
that's Regulation 7, when there are meetings, when the need arises, call upon.
Okay.
No. Bid evaluate. Sometimes, even if we are not, sometimes when we feel that according to the law, the deadline for bid submission and bid, that the deadline for maybe.
Thank you. Municipal, and it's titled Award the request for proposals on market infrastructure to fit 20. I'm not sure. This letter I thought was approved. Of reference, in the presence of GPPA, minute 7th of July 2000 regarding the market infrastructure within the Kanifing municipality. Award of contract for the expansion and upgrading of market infrastructure within the Kanifing is 35,100 under an independent engineers the contract document on the price BOQ. and then
Negotiations and if relaunch or if the need arises.
through the documents, and you've agreed that I believe was not responsive. What would be approving this procurement? This
Officer signed by one. Honorable is signed by Senabu.
reviewed the
Process.
Okay, so can you tell us that?
They will be minuted to the. This will assign, take a decision. We go to the director. Whoever sign. Salum.
How it would be that
anything on the bill of quantities?
That
but with your
writing is done.
and your process and did it, you have given. So this, let's just say that's, if you had not given them permission, they would not have gone ahead.
Well, I have not seen, it is clearly responsible, but I have not seen any.
Act, which subsection 1 reads, a person who contravenes,
Which the hell is given based on.
On this agreement.
referring the witness to the letter 1, but let me just check. The contracts committee, where you had Yahya Jammeh as infrastructural development project. In that, council has series of engagements with the company, but the company calls for a termination of the contract. Council should not compromise with the contractor's actions, as they went through negotiations several times. But
Even though the